Welcome to This Is My Circus, the podcast where we embrace the chaos and keep it real about parenting, pop culture, true crime, and the books we can't put down.
Because let's be honest, life is one big circus, and we're just trying to survive with caffeine, sarcasm, and a little true crime obsession.
So if you love unfiltered conversation, questionable parenting hacks, and deep dives into the things that keep us up at night, you're in the right place.
Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's get into the chaos.
I'm Stefanie.
I'm Meredith.
And welcome to This Is My Circus.
You know, we are proof that podcasting equipment is way too cheap.
Apparently. What a bonehead. Our TikTok comment.
As Jackson said, when you get haters, that means you made it.
So I got a TikTok violation for my response. And my response wasn't even bad.
No, it wasn't.
It said, every circus needs clowns. Thanks for applying or auditioning. Yeah. And that got flagged for...
Are you a bully?
Apparently.
Oh,
there's so much bad stuff on TikTok.
I know that's
what they flagged.
That's what they got. So, of course, I went and untrolled his page and made a comment back about something about him loving and so I don't know, being a good person or whatever. Apparently not.
Dude, you suck.
Totally suck.
I am a bully.
How you been?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. It is storming like a mofo.
Well,
it's better now.
Yeah. We've been having these like flash storms though.
Yeah. It's summer.
Yeah.
I was like 2 inches from texting you and being like,
I almost texted you and said, "Do you want to hold off?"
Just wait a minute. So I went ahead and got in the car and came this way, and of course my gas light was on because that's how I roll. Do you like use every single gram or fluid ounce, whatever?
I sometimes get the little dashes where there's like nothing.
I just like to see, I like to give Brian I make it go down to like 1 mile to empty just to see his reaction. So I pulled into the gas station right there across from McDonald's on the way here, and I pulled beside a vehicle that looked familiar, and I was like, oh, that looks like Olivia's car. And she had left the door open. It was her. And I saw her walking in, but her kids were in the car. Mm-hmm. One of them, her youngest one, Jace. And he was sitting in the front seat and he had his headphones on, and I could tell he was not paying attention to anything. So of course I get in her car in the driver's seat and I shut the door and I look at him and I say, "Are you ready?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like still not looking. He just responded. I said, "Well, where do you want to go?" And I wish I would have recorded it because he looked over at me and he went, like literally like fear. And by this time I had waved to Olivia, like when I pulled up, so she had her umbrella walking to me. Mm-hmm. And I guess she saw the whole interaction from outside. She was like, "Why didn't we record that?" I said, "I thought he would see me and like have some kind of reaction." He did have a reaction, but it was after the whole situation. So it was great. It was great. You know, don't leave your kids unattended. I'm just kidding. He's like 15. He's fine. I'm just kidding.
I remember when everybody was like, "You were such a sucker." He was selling rocks that he found in the drive.
I remember this. How many rocks did you buy, Steph?
I don't know. I bought at least one for $1.
That's adorable, though. That's so cute.
Everybody's like, "You were such a sucker." I'm like, he's so cute.
He is so cute. So he's going into the 6th grade now. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
Time freaking flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. That just happened. So that's my day. That's my day. Got my hair cut.
It looks amazing.
Thanks. Covered up the grays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love my Nina Pool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So this has been out for a while, and I just never am able to find them at the Dollar Tree, but it's the Drunken Elephant's bronzer dupe.
Oh, yeah. Did you find them?
I did. They had them at our Dollar Tree, and they are amazing.
Really?
I just put them in, you know, those little vial thingies that we got?
Yeah.
The serum?
Yeah.
So I like the more thicker serum in the gold tube.
Yeah.
Use just a little bit of that and mix like 2 drops of the bronzer, and that's all I use. That's it.
That's this?
That's this.
That's this?
Yeah.
That's it?
Uh-huh.
And that did that with the serum.
But yeah, no foundation, no nothing. This is just...
I am super duper impressed. I need to take a picture of that, which is why I had my camera out. And then Rex was there and I was like, "Oh, picture of Rex." Yeah. So this is a Nina Pool wreck.
Mm-hmm.
See, I got to stop by there on the way home anyway. The one right here in Clever. Yeah. Love it.
I know, and I can never ever find them. They're always sold out. And so when I saw them, I was like, "Oh,
gonna have to go."
But then I didn't know if I was gonna like them.
Now you need like 4. So
this will last forever.
Well, yeah.
It's literally like a 1.5, maybe 2 drops.
I'm shooketh.
Yes,
you look great.
you.
You are welcome.
I went and met with another dog sitter today for Rex, just as the backup.
Yeah.
She was great. And then she's like, I said, oh, well, I've got like a 17-year-old. She's like, you do not look old enough. I'm like, thank you.
You do not.
And she's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'll be 43 in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And she's like, oh my God, if I could look like that when I get to your age. And I was like, thank you.
I could look like that when I was 20. I'd be happy. You're adorable, my little pocket person. Right. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. You don't need all the drops, all the things.
I do like the drops just because you look a glow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I have on lipstick again today because after I watched it, I was like, I look a little bit better with some color on. So
I don't.
it just made me feel a little bit, sometimes you just need to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
One of our finds for the week was we went to the new restaurant open in Clover.
How was it?
It was really good.
Yeah.
So it's called the Cattle Car. And we went Sunday evening. So they opened last week. We gave it a few days and we went. I loved it. Loved the vibe. The inside is amazing. You let me know when you want to go check it out. But it's like rustic meets glam with like chandeliers and exposed brick. I just loved it.
Yeah.
Food was really good. Brian did not like the wings, but he said the salad was really good and all the other things. And I loved what I had. And Jackson was happy. So loved it. Service was great. Definitely be back.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they had a great drink menu. Did not get anything from that. They were still really busy.
Yeah.
So it was just like, let me just check it out a little bit.
Gotta let it die down a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a new addiction.
Okay.
Well, what did you have to talk about? Because I'm a jabber.
Listen, I love your addiction, so give it to me.
Okay, hold on. I got to look up the name of it, and I'll say it wrong.
Well, in the meantime,
yes,
I am missing that baby goat so bad. We went.
Oh my gosh!
So if y'all did not see our post, we went and cuddled baby goats because there was a fundraiser at the Tractor Supply, and it was
everything.
It was amazing.
It was everything. So I want to say it supported Clover Middle School's FFA or Clover. It was something with Clover Middle, and they had like 6 or 8 little goats over there. So they were from a farm that actually lives behind my house, Happy Hooves and Feathers Farm.
The home of Noodle.
The home of Noodle, my sweet baby Noodle. The home of Noodle. Her name is Megan, and we're going to have her on the pod one day just to chat.
And she invited us to the farm.
She did invite us to the farm. I know I need to message her so we can get that hooked up. But
let me tell you how much I loved that baby goat.
I know. So your baby goat was like 2 weeks old. It was like the size of a small Cocker Spaniel.
I loved it, and it kept falling asleep on me.
It loved you,
and it booped my nose. And it just was like the most chill.
I'm so surprised you did not smuggle that baby.
I wanted to so bad.
Yeah, that baby was everything.
Oh my goodness.
Well, so the one that I held first loved that little thing, but then the other started staring at me, and I was like, and I have this thing where I have to include.
Oh no, I was keeping that baby.
You were totally fine. So I switched like 3 or 4 times. Like, gave them all a little cuddle. One of them was not into my cuddles. Didn't keep that one too long, but
wasn't vibing.
Was not vibing. Wanted to go run around with his friends. Get it? So they were from like 2 weeks old to I think like 2 months old. Adorbs.
Oh my gosh! I just like that little baby was everything.
Had his head on your shoulder and just was closing his eyes. Those pictures were so sweet.
I was obsessed.
Yeah. If you've never cuddled a baby goat,
I highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Skip your therapy for that week. Pay the $5. We paid the $10. We wanted extra time.
If I had known how amazing that cuddle was, I would have given the full 20.
We're going to take $200. But other people were starting to. We were there like right when it opened.
It was perfect.
And everybody was like starting to come and gather and ask questions so we can give the little 5-year-olds a chance.
We had to give them our seat.
But that was so much fun.
Yes, it was perfection.
Okay, so my new addiction that I am just 100% into, and I cannot stop watching TikToks about it and just pictures of it, is an airline. I must fly on this airline. Emirates. Have you ever heard of this airline? They are uber fancy, And like they have these uniforms that they all have to wear and they all have to look a certain way with the bright red lipstick and the flights. Oh my God, hold on, I gotta show you.
Are these like private?
I don't know. No. They're out of Dubai.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah. But they fly to like over 100 destinations, but they do have separate classes. But their first class has private suites with closing doors, meals, and showers.
Oh, so they got like apartments in there.
Pretty much. But check out the way that are the air stewardess? Is that what they're still called?
No, whatever. Flight attendants. I don't know.
Air secretary? I don't know. But
woman,
yeah.
man.
But look.
Oh,
But they all have to wear a red lipstick. They can wear any shade of red. But they are all beautiful. They all have to have like certain dental, like their smile has to look a certain way. They can't have any obvious missing teeth or anything like that. But I am fascinated with like they'll do the get readies with me and all that kind of stuff. And they'll do like I'm so weird. But they'll do like the before and then they'll put the makeup on and they're so stunning. And they tell you how did they take care of the hat that has the veil attached to it. Oh my gosh. You know how I went to the soccer game and I was like, I was meant to live like that. That's how I was meant to fly. That airline needs to be based out of Clover, South Carolina.
Not going to happen, but okay.
Never, ever, ever going to happen. But it is just how the other half lives. Like it is just, I had no idea that was a thing. I mean, outside of like private flight, I had no idea that was something. And now
we don't live that life.
We do not.
We should, though.
But I could totally.
We should.
It wouldn't take me long to adjust.
No. I can fall into that role real quick.
Real fast.
Real quick.
I mean, I'm actually there. I have to work to not be in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that.
Yeah. So, any new addictions for you lately?
No, I just started watching a new show on Netflix called, I think it's like The Survivors or something like that. And it's out of Australia, so they got the accents.
Okay.
The Survivors, yeah.
Okay.
It's about years and years ago, 2 kids died trying to save a brother from like the caves that were flooding. And then he left.
I'm holding my breath because you know how that does me.
He left for a long time and, came back to town for something with his dad. His dad's got dementia now, and now there's another murder. So it's seeing how everything has unfolded. And so I'm on episode 3, but it's really good so far.
That sounds good. Do you remember what service is? What's
Netflix?
Is a Netflix one. So I talked Jackson into starting Squid Game with me.
Oh, Dylan watches that. I do not.
I know. So he watched the one last night, the first episode of the first season last night, and he was making fun of it pretty much the whole way. And towards the end, he was like, so he texted me right before I came over here. He said, "You want to watch episode 2 soon?" And I was like, "I'm going to record." And then we can in a little bit. He was like, "Okay."
Dylan went over Tyler's and I was like, "Well, what are you guys going to do?" He's like, "Oh, the new season of Squid Games is out, so we're going to binge it tonight." I was like, "Okay."
There you go. It is so good. It is totally not my thing, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So Brian was watching TV when I left and something was across the screen about partial verdict for Diddy. Did you see that?
I did. I think one of the counts they have given a guilty verdict, but there was one juror, they had problems within hours of going into deliberation because this juror was like, "Guilty. I don't care what anybody else says. He's guilty on all charges and I'm not discussing it."
Okay.
And I'm done.
I mean, yeah, but still.
She's like, "I'm done." And like, I don't want to discuss anything. I don't want to, like, I'm done. Like, guilty on all charges. And so.
You might be one of our listeners.
So I don't know if it's a guy, girl, whatever.
Right.
I think there was 8 men and 4 women on the jury.
Okay.
So I know that went to the judge yesterday, that there was an issue already. And then today they came back with one of the counts was a guilty. And apparently Diddy was like furious in the courtroom. But there was 5 charges to deliberate on total.
Okay. I don't follow like every trial, so I really don't know how it works, but I'm surprised that they delivered one of the verdicts.
And I think it was a precursor for the RICO charge.
Oh, okay.
So that's guilty. It tends to be that.
Yeah.
Most of the rest of them probably will.
Yeah.
But then they also said that there was a what are those guys? Something marshal.
Court marshal?
Maybe. No. I don't know.
U.S. Marshal?
U.S. Marshal that came and was in there with Diddy, his attorneys, and the judge, and somebody in the comment section, so this is just take it with a grain of salt,
Right.
said that he probably flipped on somebody
Oh,
to try to
yeah.
wiggle out of something.
Something.
So I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody in the comment section said that that's normally what this
I
would
mean, that
be.
makes sense, but yeah.
So who knows? But
Okay, well, moving right along with the thing. I'm glad you had the tea on that because I like literally had to leave when I saw that. And Brian was like, what are they saying? And I was like, no idea. It just says partial.
Well, we're recording on Tuesday, so hopefully by Thursday. I mean, nobody's going to want to go into the holiday weekend
Right.
with this
Right.
lingering. So I tend to think that they're either going to
Yeah.
hung jury or push it one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I forget sometimes that there's the delay. Like the people aren't listening live.
Yeah. So hopefully by Thursday we have something.
Yeah, absolutely. So Stefanie Sue.
Oh yeah.
Our Rotten Mango girl. I was watching one of her recent TikToks or listening to one of her recent podcasts. I don't know, something that she said. And they're thinking Kanye is next.
Didn't she go missing for like a week, Stefanie Sue?
I don't know.
Because everybody on TikTok was like, where is she? Because she
I don't know.
Yeah, she was silent.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm thinking this was her most recent podcast that dropped. But apparently Kanye was in court.
Yeah, he only stopped in there, I guess, to show his support.
Right. But that's the word on the street is that Kanye is next.
I would think like Jay-Z would be next. Yeah. The Kanye's already like fallen off. Yeah.
Gone. The flat earth that he's on is gone right off the edge. Is that what that means? Gone over the edge? Oh my gosh. I'm learning new things. Is that what that means? I don't know. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So did you see how about that kid that fell off of the Disney cruise?
Yes. Did you see the heroic save?
Okay, so I have mixed feelings, and two things can be true at the same time. But as of right now, they're saying that the dad had put the child on the ledge to take a photo, and the kid went overboard. But his immediate, no hesitation, went right in after the child jumped off of the boat into the water, was able to locate the child, and was able to tread water for 20 minutes. Holding that child up.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
It is.
Have you ever tried to tread water?
So, yes. And I don't, okay, I'm sure it's because I have extra flotation devices. But I don't sink.
Oh.
When you're in the water, do you go like down to the bottom?
I don't know because I don't.
Well, and so I never knew that I was different. Until Brian and I would like try to race across the pool. And he'd be like, just go on the bottom. Well, I go on the bottom and I float up. Brian like stays on the bottom. So treading water or floating for me is not a huge feat.
I think if you flipped over on your back and like just floated that way, because it's way easier. I just don't know with a child.
With them panicking or just the weight of it or just them flailing. So
that's a
lot. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So thank God there was no injuries.
Yes.
But when we got certified for scuba diving in college, because that was our college PE.
So useful. So glad you did that.
Dude, it was like the best PE class.
Judgment. No, zero judgment.
We did it in the YMCA pool, like the classes.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And then we had to do our open water dive, and we did that in Mexico. But when you're doing your classes, you have to tread water, and you can't hold on to anything, and you have to tread water for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Without touching anything. And you have to just like sit there and tread.
Yeah.
And it was not easy.
You were tired.
To continue it for that long.
The movement.
And to stay in one spot and just tread. Yeah. Not swimming, not like moving. You just had to sit in the same spot and tread water. And that sucked.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like that, and then like 20 minutes of that.
With the child.
That's crazy. So good job, Dad, for
right.
Nobody knows a real story. This is just what was put out there by people assuming. But again, two things can be true at once.
Yes.
It's not like he pushed the child off, but putting a child.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
not the smartest
Yeah.
move.
Right.
But awesome job saving your kid.
And
Absolutely. awesome for Disney, like getting those boats out there as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
Like their
100%.
response time was
100%. When we had gone on a cruise, Jackson went like 5, 6, somewhere like 6, 7. If we were inside and he was sitting on a ledge that the glass behind it was so clear, it didn't look like there was glass. So he's just sitting there, and I took a picture. And when we got back, I uploaded my pictures and posted that one. And everybody's like, I can't believe you put him on that ledge. I'm like, that was glass. Yeah, glass behind it.
Mhm.
But I don't think I would put Jackson on the ledge with no glass.
No.
I wouldn't put me on the ledge with no glass, even in my most athletic days. So
I value my life.
100%. So, gosh, I'm glad the kid didn't drown. All the things.
Insane. Crazy.
How old was the child? Do you remember?
I want to say like 5.
Yeah.
Around there.
Oh, glad everybody's okay.
Same.
Yeah, glad everybody's okay.
Well, who is not okay are these 4 girls that are from Arizona. Did you hear about the 4 girls that plotted the murder of a boy in their class?
No.
Yeah. Okay. This is in Arizona.
Okay.
4 5th-grade girls plotted to lure a boy to the bathroom at recess, stab him to death, and then have a suicide note ready to make it look like he took his own life. Because he was dating one of these girls and cheated on her in 5th grade.
Yeah, but still.
Each of them had an assigned part. I mean, this was like all plotted out, like written out, plotted of who was doing what. So one girl was to bring the knife. The other girl would do the act itself. Another would be the lookout. And the last was in charge of writing the note. Some students at the school found out and told the teacher, thank God.
Yeah.
Administration searched the backpacks of the girls and found all the things to commit this action. So obviously they called the police. Police came, arrested the 4 girls. Here's the worst part. I mean, that's all horrible.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 girls showed remorse, was upset, like, oh, they just got caught up in it and, whatever. The 4th girl laughed and said he deserved it. That chick is going like psycho.
I bet she was the one who was designated to do the actual
5th grade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
5th
That's
grade.
terrible.
No,
she needs all kinds of help.
No remorse, nothing.
Yeah.
She's going to be.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's terrifying.
That's bad. They need to go ahead and look and see if she's harming animals and wetting the bed and
to go like some kind of treatment center or like something to get help.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being in the room with your child and that's their reaction?
No. Can you imagine that not being your child and you're the interviewer or whatever? And
I'd be terrified.
That I'd be like, yeah, that's like, demons.
So this now, could you imagine being the poor boy? I bet you he's never going to cheat on nobody again.
No, poor dude. He's probably never going to have another girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever again. He's done.
Oh my God. Talk about learning a lesson.
Right? Did you see the article about the ginormous windmill blade that fell into traffic?
No.
I showed Brian that. And he was like, is that AI? And I was like, no, that's real. So in Maryland, a huge giant windmill blade, and I showed you the picture, it went across the whole interstate. Like all the lanes on both sides of traffic. It came loose on Monday and it hit Interstate 70 in Maryland and caused traffic to be backed up for miles. Can you imagine? This is the Can You Imagine episode right here. Can you imagine though, just driving down the road.
Talk about, what was that movie?
Final Destination?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
To this day, this morning I got behind a logging truck.
Yeah.
Skirted right around him.
Nope.
That is craziness. Now, okay, let's make it worse.
Okay.
You're like, oh, okay. Oh, and nobody was hurt as far as we know, which is crazy.
Yeah. They skirted it. It's coming though.
Yeah. Like, you're riding with Dylan. Like, you're teaching him to drive. And this happens, I think when we're doing that, it would be instinct to figure out the best thing to do in the moment and make it happen. I can't even think about how to verbalize somebody how to navigate around or through or whatever that.
No.
Lord have mercy, it's crazy.
Just a couple of weeks ago, there was a tractor trailer right in Charlotte that was carrying glass, like glass doors or glass windows, and crashed or flipped or something. And there was glass everywhere. I mean, for days.
Oh my
The
gosh.
highway was covered in glass
I didn't hear about that.
from this truck. Could you imagine how many tires?
Oh my gosh. It was probably a conspiracy. They were in cahoots.
Maybe.
The tractor trailer truck was in cahoots with the tire companies.
Well, thank God nobody was hurt, but I cannot imagine.
Crazy. Huge, huge, huge thing.
I found a new TikToker that I think you will love.
Okay.
Because it's all conspiracy theories and like declassified CIA docs.
Give me the
Yeah, okay. It's Curiosities Unknown is the name.
Watch, I already follow them.
I don't know. He's like, our CIA declassified conspiracy of the day is, and I was like, oh, what are we talking about?
We're like, let me get my popcorn.
I am in, but he has got some really, I mean, you're gonna go down some rabbit holes.
Okay.
Because things I've never heard of.
Is this a warning?
Yeah. Yeah, there's your warning.
I did not already follow him, so we'll add him to my list.
Awesome stuff. He goes through the MK Ultra, Mandela effects.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm fascinated with that one.
Tartaria. That's like where they're saying it's the advanced civilization that was supposedly wiped out from our memories, but are still there.
Okay.
The CIA testing for telepathy and like all the mind control stuff through the CIA.
Okay.
The Dulce base alien war that was in New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, rabbit hole galore.
Okay.
So, if you get bored, like I was.
If you have hours of your life to lose that you want to go down his.
Bananas, though.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. Yeah.
CIA stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. 100%. So, have you ever met anybody who believes? No. Okay. Let me preface this by saying I believe that the world is round. The earth is round. I think the majority of people probably do. Don't know. Have you ever met anybody who thinks it's flat?
Yes.
So I always thought when I heard flat that they were thinking like a cube, like a square. They mean flat, like a desk. Like there's one end and one end.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that just hit me. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no more revelation for me than that, other than that's what they meant. But
I watched a TikTok on that, right? And so
yeah,
they're like, well, why in the Disney movies does the rocket not go straight up in the air? It domes. I was like, is that a rocket? I thought it was a shooting star.
I thought it was a shooting star.
No.
I was like, wish upon a star. Oh my gosh. Everything we ever knew has just been wiped out of our mind.
I'm not the person to ask about
No.
facts.
No. None of the things that are real, that are accurate.
That matter.
No, not at all. Not at all. But you asked me what happened in the Harry Potter movie.
Dumb seconds.
Yeah, 100%. Music lyrics from the 90s?
Yeah.
There's no question.
Music lyrics today, I can't remember. It's like my memory stopped working at a very specific time.
I feel like it's full.
Yeah. And that's why I keep saying I can't learn anything else, because I'm going to lose information.
Yeah.
If new information comes
100%.
in.
And it's really, really important that I remember the Green Day lyrics.
It's like when my computer tells me it's full and it can't save my files and I have to delete stuff. And I'm like, I really can't delete anything.
Right.
I don't know what's on there.
Must say that.
But if I saved it, I probably need it. And that's how I feel about my brain.
I know. Do you find, though, that it's harder for you to learn now than it used to be? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I used to be such a good multitasker and quick. I mean, I'm still at my job, like I'm not like lollygagging, but just to be able to.
I love that word.
Lollygagging. But yeah, it's so much harder now to learn new things.
I have never been a good, like, take time to do a task. Like, I have to work under pressure. Even in school, if we had a report and we had a month to do it, I'd be doing it the day before.
Yeah.
Like from start to finish the day before. There was no pre-writing.
Right.
I mean, there was no process. It was
final draft as the first draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get it turned in.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can.
I do too. And I do better hands-on. I want to do it myself. I'll never forget the first time I assisted in surgery. Like I'd been observing and doing the things. And all of a sudden the lady that I've been watching just like stepped back and.
Wait, what surgery?
Eye surgery.
You did eye surgery?
Uh-huh.
I thought you just worked at the eye doctor. Like, I didn't know you did the surgery.
Yeah, I was in the surgery room too. And I assisted in eye surgery. Cut the eyeballs. But,
You
do you need a
are
minute?
amazing.
I'm jack of all trades, master of none.
Never knew this.
Really?
No, I just thought you worked you did this.
I did the things. I did the better one, better two, and did the glaucoma test and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I did assisted eye surgery. But so I had been observing and like learning all the things, and every surgeon had a different. Is your mind just blown right now?
I thought you were just being sarcastic, like, well, when I was in surgery, and I was like,
No. I kept going,
and I was like, wait,
when you think there's nothing else you can learn about me, you learn more.
I love it.
I know, right? But just like we all have different things, different preferences, every surgeon is different. Like some are methodical, the exact same thing every time. And some are just as fast as they can get stuff done in whatever order they want to do it, whatever. He was a great surgeon, but still he wanted it done quickly.
Well,
but I'll never forget the first time, you're nervous and you're anxious and you're watching and you're learning and you're taking notes and you've done the certifications and everything. And she just like backed up and left. And she was like, glove up. And I was like, okay. And that was my first assist. Like really. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was terrifying, but it went well. And I loved that. I loved that job. That was fun.
No, I don't like that.
Well,
I refused to do any of the dissecting stuff. And like, I was like, give me the 0. Was not touching any kind of dead things.
Yeah.
Wasn't dissecting things. Was not doing the science things. Science, not for me.
Yeah.
Give me like the potion stuff. Like give me like the chemicals to like mix. I will blow something up. Like
the biology part of it.
But I'm not cutting nothing open.
Here's why I really liked it. I was kind of removed from it because I wasn't doing it. I was just handing the instruments and doing the lasers and stuff. The lasers on Star Wars.
My eyes just started twitching.
But here's what I really liked it about. That was one piece of what I did in ophthalmology. But all of those patients, 99% of them, were healthy. Nobody was like in pain or hurting. And, it was just making everybody get rid of their glasses or their contact lenses. Like it was all just, none of it was, it didn't really require a lot of compassion.
Thanks. Hard pass.
Well, there's your Meredith fact for the day. There you go.
I'm good.
You're
no,
good.
Thanks. Never.
I get it.
No, let's talk about some slicing and dicing.
Yeah.
Did you watch Dexter?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that there was a real life Dexter?
No.
In Brazil.
I actually do feel like I heard this.
His name was Pedro Rodriguez Filifo.
Okay.
I'm probably butchering that name. But
in the 90s or something?
He died in 2023.
Okay.
But he was caught in...
You're really struggling. Is it in Spanish and you're reading it in Spanish?
No, I had ChatGPT re-summarize like this whole big thing that I found.
The way you looked would look like you were just trying to translate it.
Let me just read this.
Okay.
So Pedro, also known as Pedrinho Matador or the Brazilian Dexter, was a real-life vigilante serial killer born October 29th, 1954. Between ages 14 and 19, he murdered suspected criminals.
14?
Well, yeah, his dad was a real bum.
Oh, okay.
And, abusive.
Yeah.
And all the things. And so he got, I think, like this very righteous version of what's right and wrong.
Okay.
So he never hurt anybody that was innocent.
Okay.
It was always bad guys.
Okay.
So his suspected criminals that he offed was drug dealers, rapists, and gang members.
Mm-hmm.
He claimed over 100 victims, though officially convicted of only 71. But many of the people that he took out was in prison while he was in prison.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So he served 34 years behind bars before being released in 2007. Now, his girlfriend, I believe, was pregnant and a gang member killed her. And then that's when he really
went off the edge.
Yeah. So he was released in 2007, was re-imprisoned in 2011 to 2018 for riots, and afterwards became a YouTuber warning against crime before being shot dead on March 5th, 2023. Yeah.
Terrifying.
He killed only those he deemed guilty.
But I'm not any of those bad things, so I guess I shouldn't be afraid of.
So his father murdered his mother, and I don't know how to say his dad stabbed her 31 times. Well, when he got out of prison, he found his dad and stabbed him like 32 times. It was like one more than he did to his mom.
But it's almost like he wanted to go to prison so he could finish all his business.
Take out everybody.
Right. Well, I'm here.
Let me take out the trash.
Right. Yeah. I don't really have to go find anybody. Here they are. 14 to 19 years old. Wowza.
And then a bunch more in prison. Several articles said that they believe it's like way over 100.
Yeah.
But they can't, I guess.
Those are confirmed. But he could, whatever.
Got convicted on 71, believed to be over 100, but they believe it's way over that number.
Oh my gosh. Bananas.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like I had heard that before, but I watched so many of the stupid crime shows that it might have just been something that sounds like a Criminal Minds, to be honest.
It does.
So who knows? My sources might be Criminal Minds. Who knows?
Welcome to This Is My Circus, the podcast where we embrace the chaos and keep it real about parenting, pop culture, true crime, and the books we can't put down.
Because let's be honest, life is one big circus, and we're just trying to survive with caffeine, sarcasm, and a little true crime obsession.
So if you love unfiltered conversation, questionable parenting hacks, and deep dives into the things that keep us up at night, you're in the right place.
Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's get into the chaos.
Are you ready for Am I the A-hole?
Never been readier. Am I the a-hole for getting a new nurse fired for accusing me of having an affair with my father? Hey Reddit, I'm a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a hug, told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. I'm a 27 female. My dad is a 51 male. There was a new nurse at the nurse's station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I hadn't spoken with this new nurse, though, much, and she didn't know. Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off of what she heard and saw. She knew my dad's married to my mom, who brings him lunch sometimes. She immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff that my dad is having an affair with the hospital social worker, aka me. One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to tell me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I guess no one decided to tell her that he's my dad.
Oh my God, nobody really likes her.
No. I hate gossipers. I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear some of them really love to spread rumors. I decided not to take it up with her and just went straight to HR. We were both asked to come to HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knew that he's my father. When new nurse came in, she was asked to explain, and she said she thinks it's terrible that we would so blatantly have an affair, and she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like a nice guy. My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his child. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. The HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probationary period. My mom thinks I'm a jerk, and I should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew she'd probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook and she's a single mom or whatever. I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their butts gossiping instead of doing their jobs. My dad's embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone has thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird or anything, but it happens. Anywho, am I the a-hole? Okay.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There is. There really is. Okay. So if I saw that happen in the hallway, I'd probably be like, what's going on? But I would hope somebody would tell me.
I would have probably said, who's that? And they would say, oh, that's his daughter. Right. I wouldn't immediately be like, oh, he's having an affair.
Or did she do that? And because they didn't like her, they were like, that's one of the social workers, and didn't bother to say that's his daughter. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what happened?
Yeah.
But she didn't need to go telling everybody.
And I'm sorry, but everybody gossips at work.
Everybody gossips everywhere. That's just how it is.
I mean, you need a little reprieve.
Right. Right. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's just sensitive. Maybe she got cheated on, so everybody she sees, she thinks it's happening. I don't know.
You know what, though? As soon as they got in there, she tried to throw the
Say it
dad
again.
under the bus and was like, "Oh, I cannot believe you two."
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That's true. That's true.
She probably has that same attitude.
Yeah.
I don't think you're the a-hole. I just don't know if I would have gone about it that way.
Well, I don't know. She says she thought she probably would have gotten fired, but it still wasn't her decision to fire the
Yeah.
nurse. So, I mean, she wasn't in charge of, I mean, I don't think she holds that much sway in her dad. I don't know, but that wasn't her decision to
Yeah.
fire them. I mean,
But she was trying to get them fired in the HR.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just really touchy. Work stuff is sometimes weird.
I think it's weird that a lot of people think that they're dating.
That too.
Like, that's weird.
How do they act that it's,
I don't know. That's weird.
mhm.
So, I don't know.
I mean, just the physical dynamics of it shouldn't, I don't know, whatever. I'm not even going to go down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole. I don't think you're the a-hole.
I don't either. And if she doesn't know her, I don't know. It almost, to me, I get the vibe that it was kind of like a setup. Like you said, the
Mhm.
nurses don't like her. They wanted the new girl out.
Mm-hmm.
And this was their way of
Maybe.
doing it.
But now I feel like these same nurses are going to complain that they need help and there's nobody else. They
Well,
need more people hired.
Yeah, she's probably, listen to me. I'm making up all these, like,
Me too.
in my head. She's probably like the cute young new nurse.
Yeah, just fresh out of school.
Yeah, and these old biddies are
That still wear the nurse hat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think you're the a-hole.
I don't think you were either, but that's just
I think you were played, though.
yeah, you were a pawn
Yes.
in the scheme of the head nurse Helga. But figure out what's going on with you and your dad, because that's not normal.
No, that's weird.
Yeah,
Whether you think it is or not, I
Yeah,
think it is.
that's weird. So
I'm judging. Sorry.
yeah, we're gossiping about you right now.
All right. Well, that is it for our non-bookies.
Yep.
If you are a non-bookie, it is your time to leave. We love you. Tell your friends to listen.
Bye now, bookies. Bye.
All
Okay.
right. So this week we read What She Left by H.K. Christie. Private investigator Martina Monroe, struggling with her past and teetering on the edge, takes a risky case to identify a mysterious infant in a photo, only to uncover a deadly truth to her hometown and her own buried secrets. I thought the storyline itself was good.
Mhm.
I like the storyline, but like you said, I think it was the narrators.
I wanted to love this book so much because I thought it sounded so fascinating. Definitely the narrators. And not just the narrators, but the dialogue was boring.
Okay, well, and I put like it was so proper. Like the
Yeah.
writing was so proper of
Right.
how they would speak, which is not natural.
Right.
So I think that was part of it as
Just
well.
very robotic. I even wrote down one person would say, "Do you want to attend?" And the response would be, "Yes, I'd like to attend."
Yeah.
Like it was just not, like you said, not a natural. I had I reread and reread this, and because I would lose myself in it, and I still never gathered much of this book, to be honest with you. So I couldn't really tell you much about what happened in the book.
I made it through it. It's just as I was listening to it, I was like, this isn't like natural.
Right.
This isn't like a natural dialogue.
Yeah.
I liked that the characters were all flawed. Like you didn't have like a hoity-toity,
Very true.
I'm better than you type of
Very true.
whatever.
Yep.
As a mom, you felt the struggle for Martina, like with her work-life struggle.
Yes.
And dealing with her personal things and still being a mom and showing up, and the guilt that she has for being away so much.
There was one part at the very beginning of the book, the statement was coming up short in the mother department. And that was because of being a single mother. Do you remember that comment? That pissed me off because I was like, I think all mothers feel like we're coming up short. Single mother, mother with one child, 15 children, stay at home, work, whatever. I feel like none of us think we're doing it right.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Agree.
that's kind of I don't like that statement.
Right. But I mean, I think that that's a natural statement for a single mom to assume.
Yeah. I get that.
The children may feel like they have less of a parental involvement because it's a single mom and the dad was dead. So there was no even like parent weekends or anything. I don't think she was making like a blanket statement of that. I think it was the character as a newly single mom.
Yeah. You're right. I should not get so heated.
But no, I mean, I agree. I think every mother has gone through those feelings and that guilt and feeling like they have not done enough or they were doing it wrong.
Right.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Gosh, you've had some good insights. And like I said, I wanted to love this, especially because you had to get the 3 books at one time. And I was like, perfect. That's like 25 hours of reading right there. Like, excellent. And I returned it. I didn't even try the other 2 books.
Yeah. And
narrator.
It was the same.
Same.
Yeah.
I hate it. I feel like that really killed the book for me. I know it did.
It did. Yeah. Again, I love the premise of the book.
Yes.
It just wasn't executed, I don't think, very well. And I think that the actors that were doing the audiobook killed it, like not in a good way.
Right. They did not slay.
No.
I think though that even reading it, just the way that the dialogue was just uncomfortable and repetitive, I don't even think reading it I would have enjoyed it because it was just dry. Anyway, did you have any other insights?
The struggle that she was having with addiction was also done very well throughout the book. Knowing the struggle that she was in with the added guilt of being a mom, with the added guilt of like she had messed up her career and she was trying to build that career back.
Yeah.
And staying sober. I think that was done really well.
Yeah.
And portrayed really well. It wasn't like, oh, I'm sober now. Everything's great.
Right.
It was she was struggling.
Right.
So I appreciated that.
Agreed. And that's very real. That's not a curable thing. It's it is a constant battle. So I agree. That was done really well.
Yeah. So those were my thoughts. Again, I wasn't crazy over it. And there's lots of it that didn't hit for me. There were some aspects of it that I was like, okay, well, that's relatable or that's like real life. Or,
a lot of potential with this book, especially like the picture with the babe. Like I was digging it, but I just couldn't get into it. So I would give it like a 1 or 2. Like I was not into this book at all.
I was going 4.
You're so generous.
Well, I just really liked like the realness of certain situations within the book.
Okay. That's fair.
But
that's fair.
So our next book, okay, so we were gonna do X for this week.
Yeah.
But X, when I looked it up to go download it, was the 3rd book in a series, and we didn't read the first 2, so we're skipping over that one.
Okay.
So our next book is You by Charles Bonnet. Bonnet. That's what I'm going with.
Perfect.
All right. Now, I'm a little bit nervous because it only has 2.9 stars. But
should we?
Well, we'll try it. If it's not good, we can stop.
Okay.
All right. This is the blurb. This isn't the way it's supposed to go. You're just a typical 15-year-old sophomore, an average guy named Kyle Chase. This can't be happening to you. But then how do you explain all the blood? How do you explain how you got here in the first place? There had to have been some clues it was coming. Did you miss them or ignore them? Maybe if you can figure out where it all went wrong, you can still make it right. Or is it already too late? Think fast, Kyle. Time's running out. How did this happen? You is the riveting story of 15-year-old Kyle and small choices he does and doesn't make that lead to his own destruction. In the stunning young adult debut, Charles Bonnet mixes riveting tension with an insightful and unsettling portrait of an ordinary teen in a tale that is taut, powerful, and shattering.
Awesome.
We'll see.
It's short. It's under 4 hours. And I think his name is Charles Benoit.
Well, sure. Fancy pants.
Just because Jackson played basketball with the kid, last name Benoit.
Sure. Okay. So You by Charles Benoit.
It's fun to say though, isn't it? Do you feel
like you need on your fancy plane?
Do you feel like you need a croissant?
It's Cuddles.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Please tell your friends to listen. Leave us a review. Follow us on all the things. We love you. All right. That wraps up another episode of This Is My Circus. If you survived this episode and somehow still like us, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends, or just send us caffeine.
And don't forget, you can join our VIP circus crew for the full video version of each episode. Also, exclusive bonus content, access to merch, and so much more.
Until next time, keep the drink strong, the book's coming, and the kids only mildly feral.
Because this is our circus, and these are our monkeys.
Love ya!